Let us understand how to perform total or global aggregations using pandas. Let's run this Python notebook. This will take care of creating data frames for orders and order items, and also it will import pandas as PD. In case if you wanted to explore by creating new data frames, we will be using PD, which is inherited from this notebook. Now let's understand how to get number of records in a data frame. Every data frame have a attribute called as shape. It will give us the number of records as well as number of columns. If I run this cell, it returns a tuple. The shape is of type tuple. It contains the number of records in the data frame and also number of columns. So this data frame orders have 4 columns and 68,883 records. If you just want to get the number of records, this is how you can get by saying shape of 0. As this is tuple, we should be able to access the first element using square brackets like this. You can see the number of records in the data frame as 68,883. You can also use this on top of odd items. It should return 172,198 records. You can see here. Now let's see how we can get number of non-null values in each attribute in a data frame. There is a function called as count exposed on top of data frame. When you run this, it will return a series. As part of that series, it will have every column in the data frame along with corresponding count. You should be able to get count of a given field with not null values by saying like this. As this is of type series, we should be able to access the information related to order ID in this manner. You can also run this using this approach. Instead of saying orders count of order ID, you can actually say orders dot order ID, then count. This one will work, and also this one will work. You can also pass order ID as part of the square brackets like this with a single quotes. This is alternate way of accessing an attribute in a data frame. It will return series. Series have an API called as count, and we are invoking count, and we can see 68,883 as number of not null records with respect to order ID in orders. We can also get basic statistics of numeric fields of a data frame by running describe function. You can see order ID and order customer ID are numeric fields. Order date and order status are non-numeric fields. You can see statistics only with respect to numeric fields. You can get the count, min, not min, actually mean, standard deviation, min, max, and also percentiles 25, 50, and 75. So describe is a function which will provide basic statistics of numeric fields. When it comes to actual tasks, this is how we typically perform. In this case, we are trying to get revenue for order ID 2 from order items. To get those records where order item already equal to 2, we can use this approach, or we can also use query, which we have seen earlier. For now, I'll be using this approach. It will return all those records where order item already equal to 2. There are 3 such records. Now, if you wanted to access order item subtotal as series, you can access like this. Once you convert to series, you should be able to invoke some function on top of series, and you should be able to get the sum, which actually gives us the revenue for order ID 2, which is nothing but $579.98. You can also use the square bracket approach. Instead of using this dot, you can also say the data frame which is having only those items which are related to order ID 2, then square brackets, then single quote like this, and then you should be able to get the series which contain only order item subtotal, and then you should be able to invoke sum on top of it, which will give us the revenue for this order ID, which is nothing but 2. Now let's perform few tasks similar to this. The first task is to use orders and get total number of records for a given month 2014-01. We'll be passing month as integer, and hence we have to first convert the month part of our date to integer and then compare with it. It should not be other way around. You should not be converting the passed argument which is in integer to string, because comparing as integers is a lot more effective compared to comparing this as strings. For that reason, we will be typecasting the month which is extracted from order date to integer and then compare against 2014-01. Now when it comes to orders, this is how the data look like. We can access the date by saying orders.orderDate or orders of order date in square brackets and single quotes like this. So both are same, this approach and then this approach are same. Now you can actually convert the object type order dates to string by saying .str, and then you can use slice function to get first 7 characters. So this will take care of giving us first 7 characters from our date. So let me add one more cell here. Let me paste it here and run this. You can see the first 7 characters from our date. Now I wanted to replace this hyphen with empty string and typecast to integer. This is how you should be able to do that. Again, you have to use str because the type of this series is object to convert to string, we have to use .str like this. Then we have to replace hyphens with empty strings, which will give us the month as strings. Then we can use this function called as type, and we can either convert to int 32 or int 64 depending upon the size of the number which we are trying to store. In this case, either 32 or 64 should be fine. This will actually return the months with the data type as int 64. Now we can actually compare with the 2014-01. So you can actually copy this and then add a cell and paste. If you run this, it will actually return true or false depending upon whether the month part is equal to 2014-01 or not. If you want to get only those orders where month part is equal to 2014-01, you can actually pass this logic as part of the square brackets on top of our main data frame, which is nothing but orders, and you should be able to get the records which satisfy the criteria of orders being placed in 2014 January. You can see here, we are getting only those records which are placed in 2014 January. Now to get the count, you can actually access already like this and then say .count so that we get only one count. Otherwise it will return a series with each and every attribute. This is how you should be able to get the number of records which are related to orders that are placed in month of 2014 January. Now let's perform another task. This time we will try to use order items data and we will try to compute total revenue generated for a given product ID. If you look at order items data, this is how it will look like. In this case, we are trying to use 502 as a filter criteria. So order items.query, order item product ID == 502 will give us only those items where product ID is 502. You can see here. Now from this, we want to extract order item subtotal, which is nothing but this one, so that they can be added to get the revenue for product ID that is passed. You can run this to get the revenue. It is nothing but 3,147,800. You can also run using this approach. Either you can access an attribute from the data frame using square brackets like this or using dot notation. Both will work without any issues. This is how you should be able to get the revenue type of use cases solved using data frame operations. You just have to filter using query or direct method, which we have seen earlier, and then access the element on which you want to perform the aggregation and then perform the aggregate function. This will always be series. On top of series, we have functions like sum, min, max, average, etc., which can be leveraged to take care of our aggregations. Now let's perform another task. This time using order items dataset, we are trying to get both number of items sold as well as revenue generated for a given product ID. Earlier it was only revenue. Now we are trying to get both count as well as revenue. Once again, I am actually reviewing order items dataset. This will take care of giving order item for product ID 502. If you want, you can preview the data by saying order items product ID after creating the data frame here. You can see the output here. Now we want to add the count by adding these values for this product ID and get the revenue by adding these values. Let's see how we can take care. So in this case, we need to get both quantity and order item subtotal. As we have to get more than one attribute, we need to ensure that a data frame is returned. For that, we can actually use this approach. So if you say order items product ID in double square brackets, if you specify multiple columns, it will return a data frame. Let me add one more cell here, paste it and run this. You can see both quantity as well as subtotal. Now, on top of data frame, if you apply functions like this directly, that function will be invoked on each and every attribute. If I run this, I should be able to get the output for both quantity as well as subtotal. If you wanted to get these results side by side, either you can typecast to tuple like this, or you can typecast to dict. This way you can get the count or quantity of a given product from order items as well as the revenue. This is tuple and this is dict. By default, when you apply function such as sum, min, max, etc. on top of a data frame, it will actually return a series. That series will have the key value pairs of the attribute names and the corresponding aggregated results. Now let's perform another task. In this case, we'll be creating a collection with sales and commission percentage. Using that collection, compute total commission amount. If the commission percentage is none or not present, treat it as 0. So in this case, each element in this collection is nothing but tuple. So you have to create a collection where each element is of type tuple. First element is the sales amount. Second element is commission percentage. Commission for each sale can be computed by multiplying commission percentage with sales. make sure to divide commission percentage by 100. Otherwise, if you say 8 times 376, it will not be the actual 8% commission. To get the 8% commission for this record, once these two are multiplied, we have to divide it by 100, or we can divide the percentage by 100 and then multiply with 376. Whatever is the approach you want to choose, you can choose and you can take care of it. Now let's use this, and then we should be able to get the total commission amount by computing the individual commission amounts and aggregating using functions like sum. However, some of the records does not have commission percentage. In that case, commission amount for that sale shall be 0. So in this case, you see here, there is no commission percentage, and hence it should be treated as 0. Now let's create this list called as transactions. It is of type list of tuples. You can actually create the data frame using this list of tuples with the column names, sale amount and commission percentage like this. You can preview the data by saying sales like this. You can see that some of the records doesn't have commission percentage, especially the 5th one and 8th one, as well as 10th and 11th ones, also 13th one. Now we want to replace these with zeros. So on top of data frame, there is a function called as fill NA, which means if not available, then replace them with this value. Now if you run this, and if you try to get the preview of sales filled like this, you can see that when it comes to 5, 8, 10, 11 and 13, the commission percentage is 0 now. Now you can perform arithmetic operations using multiple fields within the data frame like this. So I'm getting the sale amount from the data frame as series and also commission percentage as series. Multiply both of them. It will actually give us the commission amount for each and every transaction. So in this case, I can actually say just sales filled of sale amount multiplied by sales filled of commission percentage. And if you look at the results, you can see here, this is the actual commission amount, which is not correct. The reason why it is not correct is it has to be divided by 100. So here I have to add one more thing. So I have to say divide by 100 like this. Now we should be able to get the commission amount. So this is the commission amount for each and every transaction. Same thing has to be used here. I missed this part. So I just have to copy and paste it here. Now you should be able to get the total commission amount using these numbers by adding them together using some function. Once you run this, the decimals might be more than 2. So if I copy paste this here and remove the round here, and run this, you can see that the decimals are a lot more digits than 2. If you want to round them off to 2, you just have to invoke the round function after sum, and you should be able to get the result we are looking for. So the total commission amount is nothing but $1,066.51. This is how you should be able to perform total aggregations using APIs that are available on top of data frames. Here, keep in mind that whenever we are trying to access individual attributes from the data frame, they are typically accessed as series. Whatever functions that are available on top of series, we should be able to explore them and use them to solve our problems. The understanding of the relationship between pandas data frame and series is very, very important. If you get that, you should be able to come up with solutions fairly quickly.